Hey everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Anastasia, a remarkable individual whose journey spans multiple disciplines and extraordinary experiences. From her early days as an engineer at the prestigious Institute of Biomedical Problems of RAS to her selfless services as a volunteer, first responder, Anastasia as a consistently pushed the boundaries of knowledge and human resilience. Currently pursuing a PhD in space resources at the Colorado School of Mines. She brings a unique blend of technical expertise and storytelling acumen, having studied both robotics and mechatronics as well as space journalism. So Anastasia's diverse background and passion for space exploration make her a fascinating guest. So I'm excited to delve into her insights and vision for the future space. So welcome to the show, Anastasia. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for giving me your precious time. So before moving on questions, can you please introduce yourself for my viewers?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Anastasia. I'm from Russia, but currently based in Colorado, doing my PhD in space resources.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for your fantastic introduction. So now let's move on to questions. My first question is on your screen. What inspired your transition from a career in engineering to pursuing a PhD in space resources?
I think it's space. It's always for space. It's always not enough. How much you know, and you always think, okay, what next skill or education will bring me closer to my dream, which is flying to space and work there. And then that's how I realized that the next quite interesting and unique destination is how we can use resources in space, and hopefully in the next 10 years we will have demand for that, and many people would need to be professionals in this field, for example going to the moon and extract resources there for humans to safely live and work there.
Yes, you're right. Thank you so much for your answer. So, can you share a specific project or experience at the Institute of Biomedical Problems of RAS and that significantly shaped your approach to space related challenges?
Yeah, I think a very important project that I was working on is Sirius. It's a joint project with NASA. It's basically the isolation studies and human factor studies that astronauts can have during the long space flight. And I was part of the crew for 4 months isolation mission, and we had more than 80 experiments, and we didn't see any sunlight. We didn't have any communication with outside world, only through mission support. So it was really challenging, but also one of the best time in my life, and it was really you feel like you're really a cosmonaut working on orbital moon station. And then we also had the other experiment called dry immersion, where we simulate the negative effects of microgravity. So basically, it's bath filled with water, and then on top of it, the waterproof foil. And then the test subject, which was me, goes there and spends in the water for 3 days. And then you have the muscle atrophy, some, heart system problems, etc. So it's only in 3 days your body already reacts so extreme to this environment, which is really important to know, and especially to study for female body. So yeah, that's those experiences were truly amazing.
Thank you for sharing your amazing experiences. So now let's move on to the discussion. So, as a former volunteer first responder, how did your experience in emergency situation influence your perspective on risk management in space exploration?
Um, I think it's more was related to my missions in the Utah Desert and Arctic. So that's why first, I mean, there are two things why I did this first responder courses, and then I was working there as a volunteer. I wanted to help people and animals, and also I wanted to be helpful for my crew. And if there would be extreme situations where I need, I can be confident that I can do the, first aid or anything else that I can help to, to make it better. So I think the confidence and knowledge that you can help your crew members, that's what's important, and that's what we can use also in space management and space exploration.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for sharing your fantastic answer. So now let's move on to the discussion. My next question is for you. What excites you most about your research in space resources at Colorado School of Mines, and how do you envision it contributing to future space missions?
Yeah, it excites me because I realize how many gaps we have in this field, how many things we have to, really test in a real lunar or Martian environment, and how much should be done and developed in terms of technology in order to just process the resources of planets or of the moon. And currently, I'm doing my research on lunar regolith flowability, basically how the lunar, um, you can say, dirt behaves in the 1/6 gravity in the vacuum, and how we can also build all the needed equipment for that. So it's quite important to understand the properties of it for future missions and for future resource extraction equipment to work successful.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer about your research. So, what parallels do you see between crisis management on Earth and potential crisis scenarios in space environments?
Mm, I didn't study much the crisis management on Earth, so looking at what's happening, I think there is not much of crisis management. People still let many things go into crisis, and when it appears, they don't. I don't see the effective measures for that. So I think maybe, yeah, they should take an example from space missions crisis management. I think it's way more robust and way more, I don't know, I think, yeah, strict. So yeah.
Okay, all right. So, how do you approach interdisciplinary challenges in your PhD work, given your diverse background in robotics, mechatronics, and journalism?
It's for me like learning new field and new profession again. Yes, of course, my background helps me, especially the engineering background, uh, and my journalist background helps me in writing papers. But still, it's very pretty new field, and you have to kind of start all over again, and it's kind of the same as getting another degree.
Okay, all right. So, your background in robotics and mechatronics is fascinating. How do you see this field evolving to meet the demands of space exploration and resources utilization?
Um, Well, of course, robotics are important part now of exploring space. Humans still stuck here on Earth. They can go. to explore Mars and other worlds. Unfortunately, we don't have enough advanced level of technology for that, so we're using robotics. But I think it will be the future is when we work, robots and humans work together. So to have this type of systems, especially if we're talking about the moon, it's very achievable goal, and we can test everything there. So yes, I'm looking forward to work in this direction.
All right, keep it up. So, if you could bring one aspect of art culture to space, what would it be and why?
Mm, I think having traditions in terms of like a celebration of New Year's, or the spring day for spring day or something like that. Just having these traditional celebrations where you do something extra, you cook something different, and you get together. It's quite important, especially when you're in isolation on your space flight, and everyday routine kind of makes it all look the same. So having this type of celebrations and traditions is important.
Okay, all right. So, what was the most challenging problem you encountered as an engineer at the Institute of Biomedical Problem of RIS, and how did you overcome it?
Um, I think it's always um, interdisciplinary problems. How you want to fix some things, you want to improve like technical um, features of the station, etc. But then it will cost a lot. Where to get the money? All the bureaucracy and etc. etc. So yeah, it's many layers of the problem. But then you have to be persistent enough, and just continuing doing everything to solve the problem, talk to people, and just be patient.
Yes, you're right. Be patient is important for us. So, what advancement in robotics do you think are necessary to make space resources extraction feasible on a large scale?
um, Adding a lot of, well, having autonomous systems, successful autonomous systems that would be able to do different assignments without waiting for the command from Earth. Especially, this is crucial for Mars missions where we have the time delay. So yeah, I think with hopefully with the progress of AI, this can be feasible soon.
Yes. So, in your opinion, what are the biggest technological hurdles that must be overcome to establish a permanent human presence on the other planets?
I thought first is a transportation, and still we use the chemical propulsion. Still, we have to consider that if you want to bring from Earth like tons of payloads, basically it means the size of the rocket should be enormous, etc. So then we have the problem of landing on Mars, and that's also haven't been done with humans, and it's also was not successful for everyone. Even landing on the moon is not. In the last 2 years, we had seen that so many companies and countries tried it, and it wasn't successful, like 100%. So it's still hard, and I think that those are the most important. As soon as we figure out and we have successful transportation and accessible transportation to those, to Moon and Mars, then the rest will just evolve very fast. And yeah.
Yes, inshallah soon. So, How do you think the portrayal of space exploration in the media influences public interest and funding of space mission?
Oh, for sure. It plays important role. I remember when I started being like actively involved in space, it was in 2013. And back then, many people in my country thought I'm crazy, that I want to go to Mars, that I want to work in this field, and no one could understand it. No one even knew if people were on Mars. So they didn't have a good knowledge of, like at least general knowledge of what's happening in space industry. And it all changed after like 5 years, and now space is really number one trend. And I think it's also due to the activities of Elon Musk, and other players that came to the space market. So we have a lot of like space bloggers, journalists, and it's just you can see that now everyone has way more interest in space and knows more than it was 10 years ago. So yes, media is very important for to show to the like general public why, for example, we spend so much money on space exploration projects. And it's important for people to understand that all the benefits that space brings.
Yes, you are absolutely right. So, what potential discoveries in space resources are you most excited about, and how might they transform life on Earth?
I think I'm very excited if you're talking like for the closest one, it's Moon, and resources that we can find there. And like many people been talking about the helium. We don't have helium. We have like in very small quantities here on Earth. And if we find, and it will be confirmed that there are like a lot of quantities of helium on the moon, and we can extract it and bring back to Earth, that will be revolutionary. And Earth will gain a lot from that. So.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for your answer. So, how do you think the discovery of extraterrestrial life, even in microbial form, would impact humanity approach to space exploration?
I mean, if you're talking about Mars, because I think that's the place where most likely we might find something, then we need to really be cautious not to contaminate the planet, and to then have like the pure samples of this microbial life, that which will be only on Mars, which we wouldn't bring from from Earth. So I think yes, being having extra steps of being cautious, and of not contaminating the place where we are going, and also not getting any bacteria that might, who knows, maybe it will be like in the movies, you breathe in some Martian bacteria and become a zombie. So yeah, we have to be just very cautious.
Yes, right. So, do you believe that? Sorry, my next question is for you. If you could live in any fictional space universe, which one would you choose and why?
You mean like from the books or movies or just?
For movies.
Mm, I think it's, yeah, I would love to live in a world of Star Trek.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for your answer. So, how do you stay motivated in your work, knowing that space exploration in a long-term endeavor with challenges that might take decades to overcome?
I think I just cannot imagine doing anything else. Anything else will be like more boring for me to do, and s- because space has so many challenges and questions to be answered, to find the solution for this, and it's just, yeah. I hope I can see real progress or something, drastic, drastically different in my lifetime. But even if not, it's still fascinating to work in space industry, even with the small, news that we have from time to time. So yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for your answer. So, what would you consider your ultimate achievement in the field of space exploration or research?
Um, it's I'm still working on it. So hopefully, when I have my dissertation published and have the PhD thesis defense, and if someone would use my work, my research for their benefit, that will be amazing. And I think it's more to come. I'm still in the process of giving everything that I have to space exploration.
All right, great. Thank you so much for your answer. So, what are your thoughts on the potential for space exploration to unite humanity, given the geopolitical tensions on Earth?
Yeah, space so far, I think, been the only field where countries cooperate, although they cannot cooperate on other levels, but in space they still cooperate. And I think we should keep this as a good example that, we should be above the politics and we should still exchange knowledge. Scientists working together, cosmonauts, astronauts working together, so that's a great example for the rest of the world, the rest of the fields to take, and hopefully we will do it more. So I'm really hopeful that if we still, no matter of the political tension, still keep up working in space field, then we still can do it, on other levels.
Yes, thank you so much for your answer. So, what are your thoughts on the potential space? Oh, sorry. If you were given the opportunities to travel to space, what would be the first thing you will want to do or see?
I want to go to Mars. Yeah.
That's I also want to go to Mars.
Or actually, no. If it's any destination, okay. So I think it's then Titan. Yeah,
Okay, I did not hear about that.
yeah. It's amazing. It's satellite of Jupiter. I know of Saturn, and it has unique features. It has its own atmosphere. It has oceans, but ocean is not made of water, but of liquid methane. So and there've been pictures of changing, something changed, like in the ocean there is like an island, then it disappears, or maybe it's a creature, etc. So for me it's really interesting to go there and to see this totally different world.
Okay, all right. So, do you think space will be next Wild West, a new frontier of exploration, innovation, and even conflict?
Oh, for sure, yeah. And I can see that if we find resources on the moon, that will be the next Wild West. And people will argue, no, I came here first, this is my territory. So, yeah, it will be like that.
Okay, all right. So, my next question is for you. How do you think humanity can avoid repeating historical mistakes such as colonization and exploitation when expanding into space?
They have to remember the history. They have to choose wisely the leaders, because I mean, yes, we keep repeating the same mistakes. So I think it's important to change this pattern, and not to listen to the politicians much, but I think maybe listening more to the scientists, and because for them, uniting is the best thing. Exchanging of information is also the best thing for scientific progress. So yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for your answer. It's been an absolute pleasure to delving into your journey and exploring the fascinating intersections of engineering, space resources, robotics, and journalism. Your passion for space and dedication to pushing the boundaries of what's possible is truly inspiring. I'm sure our viewers will be as captivated as I am by the insight you we shared today. So, before we wrap, is there any advice or final thoughts you'd like to share with those aspiring to make their mark in the space industry or any other field you be passionate about?
Yeah, thank you for this, for really interesting questions. And yeah, I think I would advise. I know it's you for many people. You think, oh my God, space is so challenging. It's very difficult, and no, I'm not smart enough, or etc. etc. Or I don't have any chance because I'm in the country where we don't have a space program. With the globalization, with the internet, etc., you have way more ways to actually be involved in space, and I would recommend to still follow your heart, even if it's really hard and you think maybe no, there is no chance. Start doing something, start step by step, and you will see that space will guide you and will give you a green light. So just follow your heart, work hard. Without work, unfortunately, you cannot go move forward. So yeah, still you need to work hard, and just believe in yourself.
Yes, you're right. Everything is possible now because of the internet. So, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I can't wait to see where your journey takes you next. So, I'm sure our audience will be eagerly following your future endeavors. Wishing you all the best in your ongoing research and your exciting future space exploration. So, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much again for precious time and precious answers. Bye. Have a wonderful
Thank
day
you.
ahead.
Thank you.